This is a twisty bit.
Yeah. There we go, over the brow. Hold on.
Come on, big Audi.
Go on, we're on the power now.
Hey! Oh dear. And they say EVs are boring. That's just not true. Hello everybody, what's happening? My name's Neil. Welcome along to Midlife Motors. And today we're going back to EV driving. We've popped up to Glasgow to meet Ken, our resident EV expert, because I just can't keep up with him. We're in the Q4. You might have seen the previous video about this when it was a year old. It's about to be 2 years old now, and it actually goes back tomorrow, so I thought we'd do a final update on this. Let me get this right, your Ioniq 5 has gone. Correct. After 2 years. Any issues with that?
No major issues. A few rattles, but other than that, no. The Ioniq 5 was
spot on.
Yeah, pretty reliable.
That's been replaced by the BMW. Hopefully we'll go out in that shortly because it's crazy fast. And this has been replaced by a Volvo. Yeah,
slightly smaller car. It's been replaced by the Volvo EX30. We don't need the size of the Q4 anymore, so we've got a slightly smaller SUV.
Today's one, like I say, we're going to focus on this because it's 2 years old. How many miles have you done?
We've done 17,000 miles now, just at its first service. So it looks like it gets serviced every 2 years or 20,000 miles there or thereabouts. Pretty run-of-the-mill servicing, and they just replaced the brake fluid and I think the windscreen wiper blades, and that was all the car needed.
Excellent. Right then, so after 2 years, I guess the question is what to report. Has this been a good car? I'm going to be a little bit biased here and saying all the electric cars I've been in so far, this is actually my favourite.
Yeah, this has been a good car, the Audi Q4. I'm slightly sad to see it go, to be honest. It's averaged 3.3 miles per kilowatt for anyone that's interested in the efficiency.
Is that quite good?
Yeah, well, I guess that's okay. In a Tesla, you're probably going to average over 4. This is a single motor, rear-wheel drive car. So not as heavy, I guess, as some of the four-wheel drive with the dual motors.
Yeah.
So they probably get slightly worse efficiency. But 3.3, and that's been a mixture of town and motorway driving. I would say the split's probably been about 50-50, to be honest.
Because your other cars have been four-wheel drive. Do you notice, does the rear-wheel drive, does that make it, does it turn better? Does it have a little bit, is there a bit less weight on the front? Does that, I mean, I know we're not in a sports car, but does it feel less understeery? Is it a more engaging drive?
Yeah, I think what I've noticed is the tires actually on some of these cars make a big difference. Yep. The Hyundai Ioniq 5, the one I got, was four-wheel drive, but it came with eco tires, and they really didn't give you much grip. This Audi Q4 has come with Bridgestone tyres, which aren't eco tyres, and I'm not going to lie to you, I think they've been absolutely fantastic for the car. There's a couple of times I've thrown the car down some back roads and really had a little bit of fun. Yep. And what you tend to find is you can get on that throttle just a little bit earlier because you've got that front end bite, which gives you the confidence. And so I'm not saying this is a sports car or anything, but this is certainly more than capable for making progress down a B road at a relatively enjoyable pace.
We touched on tyres there, and this is my question. I hear a lot of people complaining about the weight of EVs, and there's a worry that they go through tyres and brakes quickly. Is that the case? I know it's just in for a service. What were the service reports?
Okay, so we replaced the tyres on the Q4. After 18 months, they were pretty much down to just above legal. So that's probably somewhere in the region of about 13,000 miles, wow. 13 or 14,000 miles. And that was all round as well. Wow. So that was all 4 tyres needed replaced at that point. So yeah, they do, certainly on this car, it's gone through tyres at what might be a slightly quicker rate than you might expect.
So if you're looking at one used, that's something to check for, isn't it? Make sure they've got a fresh set of boots. And what about the brakes? Are they still got Plenty of meat on them?
Yeah, the brakes, we just had its report, and the brakes, there was nothing to report. The Q4 does come with drum brakes on the back, which is kind of slightly strange, I think, when you're paying £50,000 for a car. But the braking's been great, and like with most electric cars, you do have that sort of one pedal drive option, which the more I use, I just think it's a fantastic USP of an electric car, to be honest.
And that's keeping the wear off the brakes, isn't it, the one pedal driving? Yeah, no,
absolutely.
Bonus. Total bonus. As we're driving around, I don't know if it's coming across on camera, I can hear a little bit of knocking from the front suspension. Is that anything, we're touching on faults now, so is this a known fault? Is this, it doesn't appear to be affecting the car's drive, but is this anything that people should be worried about?
Yeah, I guess in the last 6 months, a slight knocking on some of the more uneven surfaces has arisen. I thought it might have been the suspension, but I watched the video from the service the Audi service centre, and they did a comprehensive review of the whole suspension, all the boots, all the joints, all the shocks, and everything's absolutely tight. So I think something's just, it's a minor rattle. You don't notice it on.
It's mainly speed humps, isn't it, that you notice going over?
Speed humps. So I don't think it's anything major, and it's certainly not a mechanical issue that we can see.
Is there anything else then that the brakes work well? Is there anything else then that in your time with a car people should be thinking about? Is there anything to watch out for? Is there anything particularly that wears? We've mentioned the tyres. Make sure it's got a nice new set of tyres.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any. I wouldn't have any qualms about owning another Q4 at all. It's been completely reliable. It's been relatively economical.
It's really comfy as well. These seats are superb.
The seats are great.
One negative though, there's no frunk in this car like a lot of EVs, so nowhere to keep your cable in there. Just top up your fluids. Coming around here though, just looking inside, this is not going to be too in depth, but it just gives you an idea of the space you've got in here. I think it's high quality. Fair play to Audi. I think this is well trimmed, well put together. In the back here as well, loads of space. I mean, that's our seats there, and look, there's acres of room in the back here as well. And then coming around to the boot, you can see obviously the dog has been in the back here. Power tailgate on this one, and unlike the front, there is a little bit of storage in the back here under the floor for your cable, so there's a little bit of rear space there.
One of the other reasons we liked it was the rear space as well. If you've got kids, we had a Discovery Sport before this, and it had a good amount of room in the back. The Q4 pretty much matches that. And then we've got a Labrador as well, and he fits comfortably in the boot.
It's a big car, this, people. The Q4 is a big car. There's plenty of space in here.
Properly useful car. Sometimes I put my bike in the back of the car. I don't have to take any wheels off, you know, if I'm just going on a journey. You just fold the seats down flat, put your bike in, and that's you away. So plenty of space in the Q4. I like that.
You were saying in this car you thought it was a little bit underpowered, and that's something that Audi have readdressed, is that right?
Yeah, the car's not underpowered. It's compared to other electric cars.
Fair enough.
It doesn't have that real speed, but just like every electric car, you do get that massive slug of acceleration when you're pulling out of a junction. It makes pulling out of a junction just so easy, which is why I love an electric car for the commute. It really does. It's superb.
And they've turned so this was the equivalent of about 200 and...
It's about 200 horsepower, I think, and I'm pretty sure the new Audi same cars about 270 horsepower.
That's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, it's going to make a big difference. That sort of overtaking speed, you know, if you want to pull out quickly on the motorway, the car isn't slow, you know, with 200 horsepower. It does go, but compared to other EVs, it was felt a bit underpowered.
Yeah, well, it's not quite got what the Ioniq had, has it?
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
And this is a Q4 e-tron S line.
S line, yeah.
Okay, and the paint, the fantastic. What colour is it? I film in some weird and wonderful spots, but this is great. Look at the view here. Wow.
Violet,
yeah.
Violet, I think is the paint. One of the reasons we bought the Q4, we wanted obviously a premium brand. We like the look of the car.
Yeah,
I think it's got some really nice haunches on the back.
100%.
Quite like the silvery grille at the front as well, and I think
Sonos sound system.
Sonos sound system, and when we saw that they had a purple option on the paint, we decided to take that one. in hindsight, I've seen the blue. I think personally, maybe think the blue's a bit nicer, but on a day like today where it's bright sunshine, the purple really does pop.
I'm going to try and jump out and get some pictures in this sunshine. It's freezing cold here, but it's beautiful blue sky, so be interested to see what it looks like on camera in this weather.
I think the only other thing we ticked the box on was it was about £150 to get the two-tone alloy wheels, and I think they look great on the car actually.
It's a good looking car. It's a good looking car. We've pulled over just for one last look at the car because I think this is a pretty thing. It's a good looking car as it goes down the road. The combination of the colour, the wheels, the styling. I like the haunches on the back there, all really nice. And in this sunlight today, it's really popping. It looks great. The one question everybody wants to know, the one question everybody asks, range. What is the range of this car?
The range of this car is about 250 miles. Probably give or take 20 miles, probably 20 miles more in the summer, probably 20 miles less in the winter. I think on a really nice warm summer's afternoon, I think you could probably get pretty close to 300 miles.
And what's the manufacturer say? I
don't recall, but I think it was just a shade over 300. I think it's about 310.
I suppose we better summarize it. It's going to be gone tomorrow. Will you miss it? Would you have another one?
Yes, I will miss it. I'll miss the ease of use. I'll miss the space, and quite like the looks and the way it drives as well.
So we can recommend the Q4?
Absolutely. I would have no hesitations ordering another Audi Q4.
I'll miss this one. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think this is a good car, and I'm by no means an Audi fanboy whatsoever. Anyway, if this has been helpful, if you can give us a thumbs up, that would be great. If you want to hit subscribe, because we've got a few more to try out in the not too distant future. Thanks very much for watching this one though. For now, we'll say goodbye.
Bye.
So it goes back tomorrow. There's a few bends here. There's a straight bit. Let's have a Lance launch. Let's chuck it around the corners. Somebody else's tyres now. Don't buy this one. Rear wheel drive though.
Yeah, no rear wheel drive.
It does drive you around from the back, doesn't it?
Does,
it really does.